Hello, what's going on everybody? Today I've decided to make a video where I label every best player from every country that's participating in Euro 2021. I already made a video with every single European nation where I listed all the best players there, but that was 8 months ago. The Euros are coming up. I feel like there actually have been a few changes here and there, so I figured to make this video today. I'm going to be doing this in order through all the groups. So obviously going to be starting out with Group A. We got Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, and Wales. So with Italy, it's a pretty solid team with a lot of exceptional players, some clearly better than others. You know, there's a few options you could go here for. We've got Chiellini, Ciro Immobile, Verratti. I think those are like top 3 to be honest, but if I had to choose one, I'm just gonna go with Chiellini on this. I know I said in the previous video Ciro Immobile, but I feel like Chiellini right now is the veteran for Italy participating in this competition. Hopefully there's no injuries involved and he plays. Now for Turkey, as stated in other videos, they have been exceptional in the World Cup qualifiers, beating Netherlands 4-2, beating Norway 3-0, Yilmaz being a monster, and a few other players as well.
Burak Yilmaz?
Yeah. However, if I gotta go with one, I think Çalhanoğlu is the star man. Sorry, I know I'm butchering this name, I always do. He's been doing bits in nearly every match for Turkey in the World Cup qualifiers, so surely he deserves a spot for the best player on the team. Now looking at Switzerland, I'm pretty sure in the past I said Shaqiri is the best player, and he is a beast. Let's get that out of the way obviously, but he hasn't been playing much for Liverpool. I think he is one of the star attackers for Switzerland, sure, but if we're going to go with the best player in the squad, I'm going to give it to their goalkeeper, Sommer. Now for Wales, it's tough because normally you'd put Gareth Bale in that spot for sure, but he's been dipping in form a little bit, and there are some other solid players, but then again, I can't think of anyone who has been insanely exceptional from Wales. So I feel like Gareth Bale still deserves that spot 100%. Even though he isn't as good as he once was, I still feel like he is a star man for Wales. Obviously they have a whole other squad around them, but number one goes to him. Now moving on to Group B, we'll start off with Belgium. Lukaku has been having the season of his life. Honestly, I feel like he deserves the player of the year for Serie A. However, I still think if we're talking about the best player in the squad, we got to give it to Kevin. KDB. He has been exceptional. He's done bits against Dortmund in the Champions League recently. I mean, we all know this guy's class. I feel like we can't really argue on this one. Belgium are an exceptional squad, but I feel like KDB is the star of the team. Now for Denmark, also another player who hasn't been in his prime. However, I feel like he still deserves a spot. There's been a lot of players from Denmark that have been exceptional lately, obviously with their insane scores. If I'm giving it to one, I'm still giving it to Christian Eriksen. Schmeichel's obviously another exception on this. However, I feel like Eriksen leads the team to glory. I don't know, he's been dipping in form, but he comes in clutch sometimes for Inter Milan. I'm sure he will for Denmark this summer. So yeah, giving it to him, although Schmeichel is also a decent choice. I'm still giving it to Eriksen, screw it. Moving on to Russia. I've chose either Golovin or Fernandez on this one. I think it's definitely between those two. All around, Russia have a pretty well-balanced squad, but Golovin's stats have actually been pretty solid this season, so I'm going to give it to Golovin anyway. Now looking at Finland, Pukki, I think is a star man. Now moving on to Group C, we start off with Netherlands. Obviously, I would put Van Dijk here. However, I'm not too positive how his injury status is going to be. I feel like he has a slight chance of missing the Euros. So Van Dijk's the obvious answer, but if he's injured, I think it's between De Jong or Depay. Screw it, I'm just gonna give it to De Jong. Now for Ukraine, I know I said Marlos in my other video, but this time I think it's definitely either between Malinovsky or Zivchenko. And I'm gonna have to give it to Malinovsky. Now for North Macedonia, in the past I said Bardi, and he's still an exceptional player, don't get me wrong. But I feel like Pandev has just had some magic in him to inspire North Macedonia to do better. He's clearly a leader, a role model, a veteran for the team. I just gotta give it to him, honestly. Pandev is making that #1 spot for North Macedonia. But there's a lot of really great players in there, Ademi as well. Let me know what you think in the comments about North Macedonia or any of these players, honestly. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Austria now, obviously a lot of solid players here, and I'm gonna keep it as my original answer, David Alaba. He said he's leaving Bayern. I'm curious to see where he goes. But regardless, I feel like he's gonna be Austria's main man to rely on in the defense for sure. Obviously they have some other talent there, but David Alaba with the most experience, I'm gonna give it to him. Now we're moving on to England. This is one of the hardest ones to choose because the whole team is pretty well balanced and honestly a really great squad for the Euros. The more I study the English squad, the more afraid of them I am, to be honest. The starting 11, I just feel like is changing every second between like Alexander-Arnold or Walker, Mason Mount or Phil Foden. You get the idea. In terms of form right now, I would say Mason Mount or Phil Foden, but clearly lacking some experience. Not someone you can necessarily rely on to be the best on the team. However, they easily could be once the tournament starts. If I got to give a label for the #1 player on this team, I think I said Alexander-Arnold in my last video, but I definitely don't think that's the case anymore. He's been dipping in form this year. I'm going to give it to Raheem Sterling. Croatia now, obvious answer, Luka Modric. You can't, there's no arguing about this. Czech Republic, obvious choice here as well. Souček, been brilliant for West Ham this season. Absolutely insane signing. Scotland, I see a lot of people arguing, is it either Robertson or Tierney? And you know what? It's weird because they both obviously play the same position. Yeah, Liverpool have been dipping in form randomly this season, but I'm still giving this one to Robertson. Whether he's playing left back or not, I'd be really surprised if the manager decides to not start Robertson in this squad. Now for Spain, again, a squad with a lot of talent all over in every position. I think it's safe to say though that Sergio Ramos is the player with the most experience, the most talent. Yeah, he's getting a bit old, but I feel like he still deserves that #1 spot. Next up, Poland, obviously Lewandowski. Sweden, Ibrahimovic is back, so although they have a 6 squad, to me it's a no-brainer. He's the #1 man yet again. Now for Slovakia, Skriniar has been very, very solid for Inter Milan, so yeah.
And for France, we've got Kylian Mbappe, obviously.
He scored a hat-trick against Barcelona. He just scored 2 goals against Bayern Munich. He's so young, yet he's definitely France's star man. There's a 6 squad that back him up, and he'll just be scoring golazos. Oh man. Next up, Germany. Again, a squad with talent everywhere, but I'm gonna keep it with Manuel Neuer. Hungary now. I think it's between Gulacsi or Szoboszlai. If Szoboszlai is not injured, I think he's the star man for Hungary, and he could clearly pull some upsets in this group of death. I'd love to see Hungary do something against these 3 big teams. Now Portugal, a lot of talent is built up on this squad to the point where it's like, do they even really need Ronaldo anymore? I feel like Portugal are in safe hands after Ronaldo retired, but I still think Ronaldo is the best man on this squad. I mean, he's clearly the best player, one of the greatest of all time, so we got to put him there, no question. But yeah, that's my list for the best players on every Euro 2021 team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below as always. Thank you for making it to the end. Please like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all very soon. La noche.